Ed Sheeran recently shared a hilarious and unexpected story about Selena Gomez's new fiancé, Benny Blanco, and it involves the iconic movie Titanic. In a candid interview, Ed recalled a memorable moment with Benny that had the whole room laughing. The story, which combines a bit of humor and a lot of surprising details, sheds light on the fun dynamic between Ed and Benny and shows that even famous musicians have their quirky moments. It all started when Ed, Benny, and a group of friends were hanging out, just enjoying each other's company. Like many of us, they were talking about Titanic, the beloved 1997 film that has become a staple of pop culture. However, the conversation quickly took an unusual turn when Benny started sharing his thoughts on the movie in a way that only he could. According to Ed, Benny was convinced that Titanic wasn't just a love story, it was actually about a man who didn't get the girl, and in his mind, that was the real tragedy of the movie. Ed couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of Benny's take, but Benny was serious. In fact, Benny started drawing comparisons between his own life and the famous film. The conversation quickly went from lighthearted joking to a full-blown debate, with Benny passionately arguing that the love story in Titanic wasn't the point, Jack's tragic fate was what really mattered. Ed, ever the storyteller, found the whole situation so amusing that he couldn't stop laughing at how seriously Benny was taking it. To make matters even funnier, Benny, known for his quirky sense of humor, started coming up with all these outlandish ideas about how the movie could have ended differently if only Jack had been smarter or made better decisions. In his mind, it wasn't about the romance, it was about how Jack could have avoided that cold, icy water. As Ed recounted this moment, he admitted that it was one of those situations where you just had to laugh. Benny's unexpected take on Titanic was so out of left field that it became one of those inside jokes that stuck with Ed and his friends for a long time. The fact that it involved such an iconic film made it even funnier. What makes the story even more interesting is the fact that Benny Blanco is now engaged to none other than Selena Gomez, which makes this Titanic-themed discussion even more amusing. Here's Benny, the man who famously couldn't see the tragedy in the love story of Titanic, now with one of the most beloved pop stars as his fiancé. It's the kind of story that gives you a glimpse into Benny's personality and sense of humor. It's clear that he doesn't take himself too seriously, and that makes him relatable to fans and friends alike. Ed's telling of the story also highlights the deep friendship between him and Benny. Despite being in the limelight, both Ed and Benny have a natural, down-to-earth friendship that's full of laughter and shared memories. Ed's willingness to share these hilarious moments with fans gives us a peek behind the curtain of their lives, showing us the more human side of these superstar musicians. While the story may seem lighthearted, it also gives us a deeper look at the dynamic between the two. Even as successful musicians, Ed Sheeran and Benny Blanco are just like anyone else. They have fun, they joke around, and they enjoy talking about movies like Titanic, even if their views on the film don't quite align. In the end, this story about Benny's take on Titanic serves as a reminder that even the most famous people have their own funny, relatable moments. It shows the bond that Ed Sheeran and Benny Blanco share and highlights Benny's unique sense of humor. Plus, with Benny now engaged to Selena Gomez, the story of his Titanic take has become one of those moments that fans won't forget anytime soon. So next time you're watching Titanic, just remember, there might be someone out there, like Benny Blanco, who thinks the real tragedy is not the love story, but the icy waters. And if you ever find yourself in a conversation with Benny, be prepared for some quirky opinions that will leave you laughing.